Castro, and I'm here on behalf of the Boxing Voice with esteemed coach, Mr. Kevin Cunningham. How's it going, sir?
Pretty good. How are you, man?
Not bad. Back in New York City. When's the last time you were here in New York City for a fight?
Actually, I think it was about maybe about a year ago. But I was in New York for a fight in January. But New York City, it's been a year, maybe 2 years ago.
Which fight was that? The one in New York that you were here for in January?
Steve Javard fought Joe Smith.
Right. Oh, of course. That was upstate at the Turning Stone, right? Yeah, I was supposed to go up there. I didn't get up there. How's he doing?
He's doing great. He's training and he's getting ready for a little comeback fight, but he's doing good. Yeah.
And your other charge, Erickson Lubin, how's he?
Oh, he's doing good. I mean, he suffered a few injuries there that needs to be rectified, so he'll have a minor surgery on the shoulder. But other than that, he'll be back. He's 26 years old. You know, he's still one of the best guys in the division, so he'll be back.
Tough fight, competitive performance. As a coach, anything that you took away from that fight as a team? I mean, it's not like you're always going to be facing 6'6", 6'7" guys, but anything you took away from that performance or Fundora's performance that you could take moving forward?
Really, Fundora basically did everything I thought he would do. Now, my guy, he kind of changed the game plan and the strategy because, as a fighter, you're in there fighting, so you feel like, well, maybe I can do this. This is not the strategy, but I think this will work. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. So, basically, what Fundora did is exactly what I thought he was going to do. My guy is capable of doing a lot more than what he did that night. So, I mean, it's a learning process. He's a young fighter, 26 years old. He'll be back, and he'll learn from that.
Right. So really, it's about following the game plan and being disciplined enough to see it through.
You just said the key word: being disciplined enough to stick within the game plan, and let your opponent have to figure out how to deal with the strategy and the game plan that you're implementing, which is being successful. Make him make an adjustment to you, and you stay focused and disciplined and don't do anything different, especially when it's being successful. That's basically it.
Got it. Speaking about young fighters that are disciplined, right behind me is Mr. Ammo Williams. You're working with him. Talk a little bit about his progression as a fighter and kind of the things that he brings to the table that you see in the gym and then also that you see in the fight.
Well, Ammo, he's one of the hardest working kids in the gym. He's disciplined, dedicated. I mean, he makes all the sacrifices that needs to be made to become a potential a future world champion. So he has all the components that you would want to see in a young fighter.
And you're obviously expecting a victory this weekend. Without giving away too much of the game plan, what are some of the things that Ammo's going to have to do come Saturday night?
Well, I mean, he's facing a talented opponent, probably the most skillful opponent that he's faced thus far. Undefeated kid, 17-0. Cordell Booker's talented. And it's going to take for what I believe even though Cordell is probably the most talented opponent that Ammo's faced up until this point, I think that Ammo's got the sheer strength, aggression, and the talent to go out and almost overwhelm the skill set of Cordell Booker. And Cordell Booker will probably have to find a way to deal with that type of aggression and skill, that the way he's going to implement the aggression is going to be in a skillful manner. So they're going to have to find a way to deal with that.
Yeah, I believe last time I saw Ammo was on the Devin Haney, Jojo Diaz undercard, and yeah, his athleticism is next level. Rank him amongst the fighters you've worked with in terms of his athletic abilities, because he did start a little bit later, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he's got a combination of athleticism and sheer power, and that's a hell of a combination. You know, I've had some more talented guys, obviously, but he's got a combination of athleticism and punching power that's second to none.
Thank you. I wanted to ask you a bit about the 154 landscape, given that you're entrenched in that division. You've also worked with fighters that have been around welterweight 154. You've got a lot of experience in this weight class. What are your thoughts on the Brian Castano, Jermel Charlo rematch?
I think in the first fight, Jermel brought something different to the table. He didn't fight like his usual self. He kind of lingered around on the ropes more than usual, and he tried to, I guess, implement a little more slickness to his style. I think in the rematch he's going to go back to being Jermel Charlo, and I think he's going to take care of business.
Lastly, Coach, you obviously follow the heavyweight division as well as any boxing fan or anybody around boxing would. What are your thoughts on Tyson Fury as a heavyweight fighter and kind of his status in the sport right now? And how does he compare to some of the heavyweights of yesteryear?
Well, I think he's definitely the number one heavyweight in boxing right now. I mean, I don't really see anybody that's in the division right now that I perceive to be a real threat. You know, I mean, Usyk probably, from a skill set standpoint, is probably the closest thing to Tyson, talking about skill set. But I think a great big man beats a great little man. So I think he's definitely the top dog right now. And in terms of where he ranks amongst some of the all-time greats.
Well, let's look at like the 3-belt and 4-belt era, because it's kind of difficult with the 15-round fighters. So the 12-round 3-belt, 4-belt era, you know, we're talking about Lewis, Holyfield, Tyson, Klitschko's.
Yeah, well, all right. Well, he's beaten one of the Klitschko's. I mean, but in terms of Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, I think those guys might have been on a notch above Tyson, but he's 6'9". He's a skillful fighter. I think he competes with everybody, but you know, I don't know if I'm quite ready yet to put him on a level of a Lennox Lewis or Holyfield, you know, or even Mike Tyson. I don't know if I put him on their level, but hey, he's right there, and he's number one right now.
Coach Kevin Cunningham, on behalf of the Boxing Voices, Maestro, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For the video, feel free to hit the like, subscribe, and share. As always, if you want to support us to the next level, head over to the patreon.com/ThaBoxingVoice. We have tons of exclusive from Border Wars, entitled betting shows. The list goes on and on and on. But in addition to that, if you guys have questions for fighters, trainers, and promoters, this is where you can submit them. We will run out, get these questions answered, and put it back on the show just for you guys. Appreciate it. Peace.